done, Morris. You're watching Bosun down Bushcraft, and today we're back in the woods. We are back at the spot. I've already got a fire going and dinner cooking on there. And what we're going to be doing today is just continuing on with this spot. I'm aiming to get a front crossbeam between these trees and maybe some back legs and a bit of framing done, ready for when we start roofing the thing over. Now, I want this thing sort of ready for when we do some more collab camps and stuff, so I am rushing as much as I can. But with the time that I have available to me, I am going to be cheating. I'm not even going to lie to you. I am going to be cheating. I have brought a battery drill and some screws. To anybody who wants to put a comment up saying that's not bushcraft, first thing I'll ask is A, show me you forging your own tools. B, let's see your spot, because I've been through this countless times. Unless you're making everything from scratch and using stone tools, other people have helped you with equipment. So I'm using a drill. I don't care. I want it up. There'll be plenty of full-on bushcraft makery to come, but you know, where do you draw the line? Unless you're sitting there making yourselves miles of cord, you're buying cord anyway. So I'm using a drill today. Fire's already rolling. I'm gonna get a coffee on in a minute. In fact, before I get a coffee on, better get a bit more wood on it. It's starting to look a little sparse. There we go. Lovely. That'll get burning nicely. Oh. Well then, let's get on with it. First things first, though, what I need to do is make this end considerably thinner so as I can get it onto the tree in the first place. Right. A couple of saw cuts. Now let's see if we can split that down a bit. Piece of log. I want a better whacking log. Go. Beautiful. Nice flattish piece. Should actually be able to get a screw through that. Thing is, I kind of need it a bit thinner on the other side as well. But I think with that, I'll just trim it down with the axe. Right, so this is basically just for my dining room eating shed sort of thing. It's going to be a bit of a weird shape, but I don't really want it much more than head height, if that. It's not like I need to be walking around in there. So I'm just going to clean a section of this tree up. Thing is, if I make it too much taller than my head, I'm going to have to make a ladder to be able to build it. Now, at some point, I am going to make a little ladder while I'm out here, but I don't really need that today. So, because this is just sort of my dining shack, I don't mind if I have to stoop, because I'm only getting in there to sit down to eat. Right. This should be somewhere near the right height. So let's cheat and bang a screw in it. I might add some bank line later on. I might. So now I need to get the other end up so that I can get it somewhat and then go back and re-strengthen all of this, because like I say, that might seem a little low, and it is, but we really don't need height. I have to remember that for a dining space, shelter space, yeah, it'd be nice to be able to walk around in it, but that'll just take more material and so much longer to make. And really I want this up and ready. So you can see that's going to be a decent enough little cross beam, and when I get the frame at the back, it'll have quite a steep angle on it to shed water off, or at least that's my plan. It's a start. Like I say, I would like to do it all sort of freehand and tied up the bank line and stuff, but I'm kind of running out of time to make this a bit more usable. So it's one of those videos really. Just got to get it done. Right. First roof frame beam up. That's nice and solid. It's going to be quite a big structure. Where have I put Freya? Where is that at? Across here before we go off hunting for another leg. Right, I think I'm actually going to make a coffee before I go off back leg hunting. Go. So, got a nice back leg. Now I need to put some sort of point on the end of it so I can get it sticking in the ground. That'll about do us. That's pointy enough. Ooh. Now to locate it where we want the lead, which is going to be off up that back corner, sticking just outside of the shelter, so that the rain goes there when it's roofed. Before we continue with the build, I think it's time for a brew. Whew, tell you what, them old timey boys building cabins must have been in good shape. I only fetched 2 or 3 logs and I'm knackered. Still, build is build. Oh, it's just the right temperature. Not too lip roasting, but not cold. I hate it when people give you cold coffee, it drives me mad. I say people, it's because I frequent quite a few coffee shops, and my biggest bugbear with all of that is when they give it you and it's like, you know, it's like, just boil it please, I want a hot coffee. It's probably some silly thing like, oh, we don't want people burn themselves. Well, you know coffee's hot. So there's me ranting in the woods again. Here's the next offering to the shelter. As always, I'm probably going a bit too far on material. Probably don't need them to be quite as hefty as they are. But that does just seem to be the way I do things. So. Okay, next challenge, marrying the two up from here to yonder. See what we can achieve here. Oh, a handy stick. Fair enough. Okay. Let's bang a screw through there, and then we'll worry about the back end in a minute. He says with a smile on his face. Always pilot your hole. When you're cheating with a drill, always pilot your hole. Cheating, you may as well do it properly. Right, so this really is a good time of year to be doing this, because I am making all sorts of mess and footprints. Now, pretty soon the main growing season starts and it'll all grow back up and cover everything over. And basically hide where I have been. Well, this is an awkward place to cut. I took my eye off the ball to check me bin. That's how it's done. Beautiful. Right, now I'm actually just going to raise this up a touch. Oh. Magic. That's nice and solid. Right, I better really take a break and go look at dinner, maybe even make another brew. It's tiring work, this. Ah, it's looking nice. Chicken's a bit anemic, but the sausage is coming along. Let's attend to that for a minute. Oh, probably a fresh battery as well. Now, this is going to be a tricky one. I haven't got enough room here to be swinging my rock. So I guess. €3. Nope. Here all year with that. Come on, let it go. On the spot. Do you know, actually, I think what I might do is smack it down a little bit and then just tie it to this tree with some bank line. That'd work fine. That'd work just fine. Kettle's boiled. Did I mention this is tiring? Oh. Right, chicken's taking its dilly-dallying time. Sausage can't be far off. Still, unless it's all charcoal and black, you can't really overdo it with chicken. You want it cooked. Chicken and pork, you do not want them underdone. Beef, don't mind beef if it's still bleeding like it was alive, but pork and chicken, no, you want that nicely done. Oh, I'm gonna take myself another little break. It's amazing how tiring this gets. Appreciate I'm using big old material. Probably not going to get as much done as I wanted to. So while I've just got you here while I'm having a break, and I might not get to this today, but the big question when you're building a place like this is how do you keep it hidden from people? Now, I've obviously been hiding it with bits of holly and other such things that I'm cutting, but my plan is also to grow things to hide it. I have been transplanting holly and other such stuff, but what I've got here is a heck of a lot of seeds for wild rose, blackberries and stinging nettles. Loads and loads of stinging nettles that I'm going to plant all over up here, because there is no stinging nettles up here. Now, to the purists amongst us, it might raise an ethical question as to whether or not it is right to come and plant stuff in a woodland. Now, there's two ways of looking at that. Number one really is that this is a planted woodland. Yes, it would have been a woodland for a few 100,000 years maybe, but in recent years, more sort of around First World War era, like a lot of British woodland, this would all have been felled to go into the war effort and building and repairing stuff and all that nonsense. A lot of these woods would have been brought down. You can tell that because here it's very overplanted, they're very close together, so you know that they've been planted like that. But also the other evidence is the species. It's all fast growing pine and things like that, because they did it because they needed wood. Your natural ones like your birch and stuff have come in after, but in this area there are no really aged trees. There are no mega oaks or huge beech or anything like that up here. It is all planted, so all of these have been added in anyway. The second thing is, if you're going to order seeds and plant them, pay attention to what you're doing. Don't be introducing foreign species. These seeds that I have got, I've been very careful to make sure that they are native British species that belong in this area in Staffordshire and things like that. So the stinging nettles would be exactly the same as if I went to when they grow further down in the woods and took the seeds from there, and the same as the blackberries. They're everywhere up here already, and the wild rose, they grow on the lower reaches, but they haven't made it up here yet, so I'm just giving them a helping hand. But if you are going to plant anything, please make sure you do make sure that it isn't a foreign or a wild species. If you're introducing plants that don't belong in Britain, they're either going to A, die because it's not the right environment, or B, if it is the right environment, they're going to go absolutely mad and start taking over, which is pretty much what we've got with holly in these woodlands. They're taking over everything. Don't be planting foreign species that don't belong here. That will do far more harm than good. I have made absolutely certain that what I am planting is the same as local species. It would be no different than taking the seeds from them that do grow around these woods. They're just not here where I want them. So I'm going to plant these big nasty roses all around and the nettles all around, just to discourage people from wandering over, because it's not on a walking trail. We're miles away from any walking trails really, so we're not doing anybody any problem by hiding it a bit more. So it's a good idea to consider. You know, if you've got ethical concerns about that, feel free to write it in the comments, but you know what my answer will be. I've checked it, it's legit, it's okay. I'm not going to do any damage to the woodland by doing it. So it's just some things for you to consider there, you know. But that is what I'm going to do. Whether I get to doing that today, I don't know. Time's flying. It takes ages to do this, and obviously this time of year your days are only about 6 hours long anyway, so we'll see how much I can get done today. I don't think I'll be planting. Ideally, I want that done in the next couple of weeks though, so that they get the full grow potential through spring. And it'll be nice to introduce some wild species that do belong here, because in the long run, a lot of this holly I'm going to be clearing it out, because if I don't, forestry commissions, they're cleaning holly out. I have noticed around here, because the lake's not too far from here, and I've noticed over the last couple of years that they've been clearing out holly, rhododendron, a few other species that really don't belong here and kind of take over. So, and you can see there's holly everywhere. The holly spreads like fire. They're a beautiful thing, don't get me wrong, but they spread like holy hell. And don't quote me on this, I'm not really sure that holly's native to this country. I don't know. I know that rhododendron's Himalayan, and you know, that kind of escaped from Victorian gardens, I think. And it grows really, really well. It's, you know, like rats and other things, really it's a victim of its own success. But so that's what I'm going to be doing anyway after all that waffle. Whether I do that today or not remains to be seen. Whew. Right, let's continue. I still think we can probably get the basic frame up today. Really? And it's going to be a very strong shelter. That's what we want. It's no good having a weak one. Well, there's no point cheating using power tools if you're not going to build something, you know, that's going to stand. That would be a terrible waste of time. Okay. Now for the other side, I'm going to have to just guesstimate this really, because I've got to be over there. So if I wave my head about a bit and see if I can find what I think is the right level. Let's see if I can even get over that. Probably. Well, there's fall in it there. So that'll do. Doesn't need to be perfect. As long as it falls and the water goes off it. It's not like I'm using a spirit level. Coincidentally, that's how you check if your ghost is straight, with a spirit level. Well, I'm not sure about the peaky chicken. Get off me. Not sure about that chicken, but the haggis sausage looks just about right. I could do with some munch actually. Oh, let's have a go. Haggis sausage, I love haggis. And this is in sausage form. Oh, that's good. And they smell absolutely incredible. Oh, that smell. They do smell absolutely delightful. It's a shame you can't smell them through that camera. I do love my woodland cookouts. I really do. Yes. Absolutely delightful. So I think really what I'm going to try and do is just get the back cross beam done. And then call it a day. I might go scatter some nettles. Because time is flying. See, I didn't overdo it. It's just tender and juicy, not too dry, and most importantly, not pink. I don't want pink chicken. Oh, what an absolute swine of a job this back one's going to be. This is not going to be easy. Okay. Let's make that weight training pay off. Off you go. Right. Let's try and get a screw in it. Oh. Right, let's go have a look at the other end. You probably can't even see me in here, but now that's, oh no, that's just what I didn't want to happen. It's just a touch too short. It's all right. I can correct that. If I undo this. Make this stick float a bit. And just go there. Right, a few more in this end, and that is the basic frame done. God, it's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. Oh. Lovely. So obviously we've got some bits of trimming and stuff to do. I'll get to that another time. The roof will come all the way over to here, and I'm going to raise these walls up to meet the frame of this structure. Now, by this point I imagine a lot of people are thinking, what are you going to use to roof over it? In all honesty, I'm just going to use felt. I've got lots of old felt knocking around. I'm going to bring it up here and shift slowly and just use that, because why not? I just want a functioning shelter. I know, but I'm not splitting logs and doing all that for it. That'll just waste too many trees when I've got other things. So I'll just cobble a roof together out of whatever I've got. But this is a big, big surface set. It's not the first time. Every time I build stuff, it ends up being massive. So I'm not that bothered. But right, I'm going to get tidy up all this mess. So that's where we're at the moment. I'll lift the camera up so you can see the fall difference in it. The back's only about half a foot lower than the front, really, 4 or 5 inches. So let's give you a bit more of a long range shot. Oh, as the fire conveniently smokes you out. But when that smoke disappears, you can just about see the base framework. Doesn't look great on camera, I have to say, but from where I'm stood, it looks pretty darn good. It looks pretty darn big. I wish I had the time to get a lot more of it done today, but I really don't. So what I'm going to do, have a little break, and then I'm going to scatter some nettle seeds in the immediate vicinity of my shelter here, and then I'm going to wander further out and scatter more outwards and cover it. It does say on the back about planting instructions, but if you think about it, in nature they just scatter them anyway, so well, what's the difference? And you see, my next shelter can go from that tree further up when that wall's up. Yeah, lovely. So I figure the best way to plant these, because this is how nature does it, just scatters them off the parent plant. So I'm just going to scatter them out the front of my little hide here, and then I'm going to walk out the way that I don't walk out, because I'm trying to keep the trail covered and let it grow over. I'm going to walk out that way though, because I'm going to scatter seeds to hide it better from paths and nosy dog walkers. So I'm just going to scatter them everywhere and hope that they take. I figure if I scatter enough of them, if I scatter a couple of 100,000 nettle seeds, then if 20% of that takes, more than enough. Anyway folks, I'm going to get on with this, get myself off home. That's pretty much all I really need to show you today. Whilst I'm busy scattering, you don't want to watch me scattering nettle seeds and stuff about, it's a bit boring. So as always guys, that is all from Bosun Dan. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate that this spot build series is a little slow, but that is the reality of constructing something like this. It takes a lot of time and it's a lot of physical effort. So if you have enjoyed it, slip us a like, subscribe, all of that nonsense. And I'll catch you on the next one. But that is all from Bosun Dan. And oh, I forgot my usual nonsense, didn't I? Get out there, get bushcrafting, get having fun, be safe, go and build yourselves a spot.